Start with a J. And it was pointed out to me by our first moderator that always have J, J, J. So we are known as the Triple J. So without further ado, may I call upon Jarrell to the rostrum. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Janet, for that wonderful introduction. Good day, everyone. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And happy International Museum Day. First of all, I'd like to thank the Department of Museums, Ministry of National Unity, Malaysia, ICOM Malaysia, and Kedah State Museum for inviting us all to be part of this insightful seminar. It is a pleasure to share the ongoing work we're doing at the National Museum of the Philippines, especially in the area that is becoming increasingly important to how we serve the public, the integration of digital technologies into our museum practice. Let me start by giving a very quick introduction to the National Museum of the Philippines. We are a national network of over 20 museums across the country, covering the main island groups of Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, in addition to our central complex in Manila's Rizal Park. Each of these sites is integral to our mission, and together they form an archipelagic system designed to make heritage more accessible to Filipinos wherever they are in the Philippines. So we're located from the north to the southernmost part of the country, with many more up-and-coming museum branches opening in the coming years. And we're very excited to share more news about that soon. Our institution has a long history, actually. It was first established in 1887, that's 138 years ago, under Spanish colonial rule, and later restructured during the American period in the early 1900s. We've endured everything from war to political change. And through it all, we've had to rebuild our facilities, safeguard our collections, and reimagine our role in society. In the late 1990s, then President Fidel V. Ramos pushed for the development of the National Museum Complex in Manila, which you see here on this photo, a project that set us on a path of expansion and modernization. Today, in addition to improving our galleries and public spaces, we've also turned our attention to something less visible but just as critical, our digital infrastructure. Here's a glimpse of our central complex in Manila, where you see the National Museum of Fine Arts in the foreground, and in the two buildings you see on the upper right corner, Anthropology and the National Museum of Natural History with a dome on the very back. And the trees you see among these three buildings is our National Museum Complex, which is poised to become a sort of native tree park. It's an ongoing development, and we're very excited that people are starting to incorporate it into their everyday lives. Some of our other museums in the rest of the country are located in the highlands of northern Luzon. In southern Luzon, you'll see a variety of museum environments where our museums are located in. Many of our regional component museums are actually surrounded by beautiful vistas in nature, such as the one in Daraga Albay, which is right next to the beautiful cone-shaped Mayon volcano, which you might know if you've seen tourism postcards or pictures of the Philippines. In Central Philippines, the Visayas group of islands is also a very popular destination for foreign tourists. In fact, our museums located in the Visayas welcome most of the foreign tourists that are coming to the Philippines. And of course, Mindanao, our island nearest to Malaysia. As you can see, we have Davao, which just opened last December. Butuan City, it's a well-known archaeological site. And Zamboanga City, located in one of the old Spanish forts. In fact, the oldest Spanish fort in that part of the Philippines, in Mindanao. Over the last 15 years, the National Museum worked towards improving access by establishing permanent exhibitions, galleries, delivering public programs, and providing an enjoyable learning experience for museum visitors free of charge. And just as the expansion of the museum network was gaining momentum, then came 2020. We all know what happened then. Like most museums around the world, we had to close our doors in March of that year. Without access to our physical spaces, we had to rethink how we connect with our audiences. That challenge pushed us to embrace digital tools more fully, to find new ways to bring our collections and programs to the public online. It marked a serious turning point in how we view our work. In fact, before the pandemic, our digital programming was limited. We launched our first website back in 2011, but the design and content were quite, as you can see here on the left, is a little bit basic, lacking a little bit of design outlook. But then when the lockdown began, we quickly developed a new website, one that was easier to navigate and more helpful for those looking to learn about our collections and activities. With the support from the Museum Foundation of the Philippines and some generous tech-savvy volunteers, we also created a series of 360-degree virtual tours, and there's already a few of them on our website. We made publications free, online, and found ways to share our exhibitions virtually. As a result, the new website, oops, I think there's a little, the table's not really showing properly. But as a result, the new website increased usage and engagement by about 400% in its first year, with an increasing trend in returning daily users. This year, with additional improvements to our user interface and user experience design, and also with the increasing public programs, we are poised to exceed our figures significantly. We also began streaming lectures and launching educational content through YouTube and Zoom, just like many other museums around the world at that time. So what started as a necessary, almost improvised solution soon became a catalyst for deeper change. If you recall, the rise of smartphones in the late 2000s changed the way we would process information and data forever. Before, in Southeast Asia, mobile texting, if you recall, had already been widespread. The Philippines was also known as the texting capital of the world at the time. So with the introduction of iOS and Android, mobile apps and social media, our lifestyles became tech-dependent more than ever. Our digital strategies unfold within a uniquely hyper-connected national context. As of early 2025, there were approximately 90.8 social media identities in the Philippines, virtually accounting for 78% of the country's population. There were 142 million cellular connections in the country. However, this metric only covers voice calls and SMS, and does not necessarily include access to the internet. Filipinos also spend an average of 3 hours and 34 minutes per day on social media. It's just about the same time as we spend each day in traffic, sitting in a car or on a bus, or waiting in a queue somewhere. There's always time to browse the internet while you're in those situations. So, and also this is among the highest rates globally. Facebook is the most used app in the Philippines with 90.8 million users, followed by TikTok at 62.3 million, FB Messenger at 61.8 million, and Instagram at 22.9 million users. These platforms have become central to how citizens learn, connect, and express themselves. So as museums, we must meet our audiences where they are, on their screens. Taking all of these lessons into account, it was vital to shift our strategic focus towards a digital future, both in terms of operational sustainability and immersive storytelling. The NMP's strategic digital transformation was formally included in the NMP Strategic Plan of 2024 to 2028, which is anchored on 4 strategic priorities: universal access, cultural and natural heritage. Strategic priority number 3, digital transformation, highlighted on the screen, and good governance. One of our flagship initiatives is the digitization of our national collection. We're building a unified platform where researchers, educators, and general public can access high-resolution images, rich metadata, and educational resources. So in this process of digitization, our botany division has made the most progress since the project began last November. Under this division is the National Herbarium of the Philippines, housing the largest collection of botanical specimens in the Philippines since 1902. Digitization of herbarium specimens not only improve access to these collections for low-risk examination. Through this experience, we are leading the development of a comprehensive digitization workflow to help other local herbaria. About 48% of our collection of 200,000 accession botanical specimens have been digitized between January to April this year through a team of 4 people working 40 hours a week using either object scanners or digital cameras mounted on top of above conveyor belts. The specimen sheets are uploaded on what we call the museum system, or a TMS, and will also be made public through our soon-to-launch e-museum section of our website later this year. And you see a sample of that e-museum here on the screen. So in essence, this goes beyond simply uploading images. As scholars like Bolio and De Rijk have pointed out, digital images in museums serve as entry points to deeper interpretation. Images of interface, as they describe it, refer to images being interactive experiences in their own right. This year, we are also launching the NMP mobile app called Museo Guide. It offers self-guided tours, interactive maps, and thematic experiences, all developed in-house, using a subscription-based app builder. This kind of tool aligns with the global move towards personalized, flexible visitor experiences. Although we know mobile apps have been around for a while and much more museum apps have been, but one thing that I feel is special with this project is that despite of the option of using AI-generated voice recordings of our guided tours, we made the conscious decision to invite museum staff from different divisions to lend their voices instead. We built our own small recording studio and spent hours each week coaching staff members during voice recordings. The results so far demonstrates the diversity of our museum community, adding a human spirit to our digital product. Through this inclusive and experimental content production process, our staff were able to unlock new skills and talents that they would not otherwise showcase in their day-to-day functions. And by being part of a milestone digital turn, they deepened their connection with the museum and developed a stronger sense of pride. We also transformed our approach to social media. Instead of just being circulators or reposting event posters or announcements, our communications team was actually empowered to begin creating original content, such as editorial features, behind-the-scenes videos, and museum highlights that blend scholarship with creativity. As a result, between 2022 and 2024, the NMP saw tremendous growth in our followers, page visits, and content interactions, evidence of how digital platforms contribute to amplifying museum relevance. Another key initiative currently underway at the NMP is the development of a digital exhibition centered on the ethnographic collection donated by our national hero, Dr. Jose Rizal, to the Ethnologisches Museum in Berlin in 1888. That's a very long time ago. Set for launch in October 2025, this exhibition brings together material culture, historical research, and multimedia storytelling to illustrate Rizal's role in documenting Filipino lifeways and spreading that knowledge during his European sojourn. This 21 object collection may not make its way in the near future to the Philippines for exhibition for Filipino people to enjoy. So this is a great option for us to make the collection available digitally. This project exemplifies how digital tools can amplify historical consciousness and cross-cultural narratives, particularly those involving diasporic and intercultural heritage. Digital exhibitions have the power to reshape who gets to tell the story, challenging established curatorial authority and enabling more inclusive historiography. So those were just examples of how the NMP has been navigating the remarkable challenge posed by a rapidly advancing digital environment. While we're all at the very early stage or the intermediate phase of our transformation, we now are more aware of the factors that we must integrate into strategic planning and budgeting. First, there's the digital divide. Many communities still lack stable internet access, especially in remote or rural areas, or face a skills gap. Not all museums have staff who are trained in user experience design or user interface design, data management or multimedia presentation, or multimedia production. Skills that are increasingly essential across all divisions, not just within ICT or media-focused members of the museum community. Also, we're mindful not to let the digital replace the physical. Nothing can quite compare standing in front of an actual object. Digital tools should enhance, not substitute, the museum experience or the experience of looking. Augmented reality and artificial intelligence, if not used properly, tend to just glaze over actual objects with distracting special effects. It is therefore important for AR and AI developers to have conversations with curators and museum educators to deepen the interpretive potential of these digital tools. And we heard many examples already of that from our speakers earlier today, and a lot more for sure from Joan's presentation after mine. So finally, there's also the matter of sustainability, which is very relevant to a government institution such as ours in the Philippines. Technology needs ongoing maintenance, staff, time, and reliable funding. We've learned that flexibility is key. Choosing platforms and systems that can grow with us, rather than locking us into short-term or overly complex solutions. It's very hard for us to procure maintenance or to procure replacements whenever hardware stops working in our museums. Therefore, we are exploring partnership agreements with tech corporations, companies, and startups to open the museum space for product testing and R&D through product loaning agreements combined with technical maintenance services. In the context of the Philippines, where museum-based technology is limited, there is remarkable space for development and growth in this area of partnerships. The National Museum of the Philippines has embraced digital transformation not as a passing trend, but as a long-term cultural commitment. From virtual tours in the early days of the pandemic to a digitized national collection, mobile apps, and online exhibitions, we have taken significant steps to ensure that Filipino heritage remains visible, accessible, and meaningful in the digital age. While challenges persist from digital equity to sustainability, the NMP's experience underscores the value of digital tools in enhancing interpretation, expanding access, and deepening public engagement. So in closing, I want to emphasize that digital transformation at the National Museum is not about chasing trends. It's not about being the most high-tech. It's about remaining relevant and responsive to the needs of the public. It's about ensuring that every Filipino, whether they're in a city, a distant province, or even abroad, has access to the rich heritage that defines who we are. Our goal is to create hybrid experiences that bring together the best of both worlds, physical and digital. And as we move forward, we not only hope to build tools and content for our audiences, but together with them on a co-creative digital journey. Maraming salamat. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Jarrell, for sharing your insight of your national museums in Philippines. Just to recap, actually, what Jarrell has said in his museums is that during COVID, embracing technology was a necessity. But after that, it became an integral part of museum management and planning. So today, new technology has been in the forefront. Yeah, Gerald? So thank you very much again. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our next beautiful speaker, that is Joan. Joan is the research and senior fellow curator at the Beijing National Museum. And Joan is also the board member of ICOFOM ASPEC. By the way, I just want to clarify what is ICOFOM. ICOFOM is the International Council for Museology. Yeah? So it's part of ICOM, which is International Council of Museums, which is headquarters in Paris. So, and Joan has a lot of interest beside museum. I think she's an artist as well, who dabbled in ceramics and other things, yeah. And she has been with the museum, in the museum fields for some time, and also have visited museums here in Malaysia and worldwide. So without further ado, Joan, sorry, Mami, please share with us your paper. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. This is my second time to Malaysia. I will launch my thankful to the Department of Museum Malaysia and ICOM Malaysia and National Museum of Malaysia, especially for Janet, our chair. I love the people, the food, and culture here, everything. Thank you. It's my great honor to share my daily work here. Because I'm a curator, the museology is very different in the museum and between compared with universities. Recently, my main work is help the government to build museums. So maybe I cannot imagine 3 years ago the technology combined more than 50% of my daily work. So. I want to share it with you. Yeah, let's begin. Museums are major institutions in the public domain. However, compared to the members of citizens in need of service, the reception pressure on museums remains significant. Today, I will discuss the impact of digital technology on museums from 4 aspects.
Also consider collaboration with
digital technology can not only compress exhibitions line and reduce space, but also expand exhibitions to non-museum space, integrate museums into every corner of the city, and reduce the reception pressure. Traditional historic exhibition usually use panels on the wall. It can only contain 3 to 5 images in every 2 meters exhibition line. The result is low space utilization and troublesome to modify. Instead, the screen wall driven by the computers is a vast database capable of holding a massive amount of data and can mimic traditional layouts for page-by-page browsing. It can also use the interactive screen mode. Another situation is when the exhibition space is large enough after removing the exhibition walls. The available space can be used to realize more possibilities. For example, an immersive database can be created using naked eye 3D and projection modes. It not allows for the massive amounts of data, but also creates an atmosphere. This demo shows the digital sand table. It is an interactive platform integrating real-time simulation and 3D for terrain modeling and scenario analysis. It enables multi-user collaboration, supporting exhibition, urban design, and education through dynamic, editable environment use AR technologies. This demo shows data projection interaction. Enable dynamic engagement with visualized data through project interfaces. Combine touch, gesture, or motion sensors. It transforms surface into interactive display for real-time manipulation, analysis, and collaboration. With the development of technology, the museum experience of contemporary urban life is no longer limited to cultural relics themselves. Information, experience, interaction, emotional connection, creativity, and ownership have gradually become the focus of new generation of audience. 3D technology can achieve a comprehensive display of ancient architecture and cultural relics. This Sanxingdui Museum in Hengqin City, without a single relic, presents archaeological achievements with grand digital scenes, provide a virtual feast for audience in another city 2,000 kilometers away. This exhibition used digital modeling technology to restore an important temple building and its inner real murals. And this exhibition constructs a virtual world of ancient earth buildings in Zhou period, maybe 3,000 years ago, and recreates the genetic database of the unearthed relics. So AR is not limited to visual reproduction, but also includes in-depth exploration of stories behind the relics. By presenting the historical context, artist value, and cultural significance of them. This exhibition held in our museum creates a virtual world, recreates the architecture, scenes, and restoration work of Notre Dame in Paris during several important historical periods. The AR in this exhibition is based on tablet. AR can also be based on VR wearable devices. Digital twin technology is not a single sum of images and information, but a rich, comprehensive information expression mix with high storage volume and expansion density. This is naked eye 3D based on lenticular lens. The impact of digital technology on virtual experience is multifaceted. First is about virtual comfort and experience. Naked eye 3D allows users to preserve images without wearing any devices. It is important in virtual experience learning environments. But by contrast, VR's headset has higher user ratings. Second is about technology challenge and quality control. For example, LED brightness, color uniformity, and response time can disrupt the 3D illusion, especially when using millions of LEDs in large panels. The third is about environmental challenge and energy efficiency. For example, outdoors, a huge amount of electricity is required to maintain visibility against the daylight. The fourth is about user interface design and interactivity. In VR, the design and ability of 3D interfaces are important for enhancing the user experience. Up to now, the pointer-based interface is still the fastest. Finally, it's about stereoscopic 3D technology is significant benefit for users' performance in tasks. The development of modernity has left lots of problems to cities. As one of the important ways of generate empathy, museums use digital immersive means to help visitors to understand the characters and events in history, leading to emotional resonance. The interaction between the audience and content can be divided into 5 levels. Interaction that do not change the direction of the story, interaction that affect the form and order, interaction that cause change in the narrative context, interaction that can alter the predetermined story, interaction that can create stories. Their interactivity and sense of participation increase from weak to strong. Nostalgia and empathy play an intermediate role between museums' digital experience and online fitting behavior. This demo shows holographic imaging. And this demo shows a popular technology named 3D mapping, which based on panel screen and curved projection system. It is widely used in science and technology museum now in China. There should be 2 principles here. First is digital means should be full of human care, and the second is emphasize the equal state of psychological immersion and sensory immersion. Clever integrating spatial computing technology and older digital devices with vividly reproducing the long scroll of the scenes, visitors can not only immerse themselves in the cultural atmosphere through AR technology, but also can smell unique scents. Interactive light show. In accordance with the changes in dance and music, the lighting system is linked with the screen and the motion capture systems, offering the audience a sensory feast of music, dance, and painting. This demo shows dome screen cinema. This offers an immersive viewing experience with a 360-degree projection on a curved ceiling. Utilize high-resolution virtuals and surround sound system. It enhances education, entertainment, and virtual simulations, creating lifelike environment for audience. The representation way of contemporary music is gradually shifting from the professional knowledge type towards a recreational experience type. The interactive narrative structure is nonlinear, diversified, and decentralized. Exhibitions, content orientation, interaction level, content structure, and emotional design needs to be focused on audience experience and guided by its educational purpose. Immersive experience incorporated with motion sensor interaction technology, AI, and motion capture technology, mainly applied in music education, such like immersive interactive space based on projection interaction. This shows bracelets interaction, utilized wearable sensors and haptic feedback to enable gestures control and biometric tracking in sport and device Connectivity and immersive gaming offer hands-free interaction for fitness and communication in smart museums. This shows the digital scroll. This integrates touch-sensitive technology with scroll-like screen for interactive content. It enables dynamic data visualization, annotation, and storytelling in education. It's blending historical aesthetics with modern immersive engagement, especially for Chinese art aesthetics. This interactive device based on data projection interaction system allow children to choose different energy consumption methods to manage the city and visually display the differences in population at the end. Nowadays, the most popular way for children is DIY drawing interaction based on AI. It can reflect the images and color drawn by children to environment in real time. Children can print their works and bring them back home. The purpose is to stimulate children's interest and boosting their confidence to a great extent. Most of these exhibitions in my PPT were completed by my team or collaborators 1 to 3 years ago. Now the technologies are developing so fast, and the costs are reducing fast too. So I believe it will offer a huge development space for our museum today. Thank you.
Thank you, John. You did it in good time. What John has actually shared with us is that how new technology, digital technology, have liberated physical space that is within the confines of the walls of the museums. Actually, what she has shown are all these really very current and high-tech technologies, some of which has not even reached our shores, but have been implemented in China. And we are really amazed at what AI, 3D, and all this have done to the exhibitions, to the artifacts, for exhibitions, and also for education, for the well-being of the society at large. So, and also to reach out to people not only within the confine of the country itself, but globally. So this is what new technology has given us the opportunity. So to summarize this, actually, museums, like what I like what Jarrell has said is that not all museums in the world can afford this type of technologies. We have our constraints, our challenges. So let's put technology to work for us, not we work for technology. Yeah. So technology should actually enhance whatever artifacts or display exhibitions, education program within the museum. So I guess museums in South Asia have to work within our budget to actually employ technology that we can afford. And as Joan also reminded us that technology actually changes really rather fast, and also whatever is it might be, price might be dropping, but still some of us can't really afford those technologies. Anyway, thank you very much to Jarrell and Joan for your sharing. And in conclusion, I'd like to summarize this. So while there are challenges facing museums embracing new technologies, however, the integration of new technologies in museums offered significant opportunities to enhance visitors' engagement, accessibility, and educational value. Thus, with thoughtful planning and execution, museums can effectively navigate these technologies and reap the benefits of technological advancement. Thank you very much. Terima kasih and have a good day. I give the floor back to Zila.